Welcome to Paul's video log. So it's Sunday the 7th of September 2025. Had to stop there, I think, for a second. My name's Paul, and that means, because it's Sunday the 7th of September, that in a few days' time we will be having E4, the very last event ever for Profound Decisions Empire on this site at Dadford Road. So, yes, momentous historical occasion for my video log, I feel. I'm currently walking through what will become the LARP trader food court and trader court. So there's the big horseshoe of traders and food vendors will be here, and right in the middle will be a big marquee that you can sit in. And then around me there will be those fields that have out character camping in it. God will be right ahead of me there. Beyond that, I think it's accessibility camping. Oh, first aid is there as well. So in fact, those containers there are just the ones that hide right behind God. And at the moment, I'm heading through what I think is quite often the ice cream van, actually. And then I'll be walking through what will be a big toilet block, if it's the same as last event, to the gates that signal the out of character and in character boundary. So inside there will be Anvil, and it's in character during time in, obviously. Out of here is out of character. And most people come here at least once because they've got to go to God, Games Operation Desk, to pick their player packs up at the start of the event. And hopefully you don't have to come here to go to first aid, and you might come here and go up there if you are monstering one of the two big battles, because if you play one you have to monster the other. But obviously over 2,000 players never even go on the battlefield. I've done every Empire event, I've never been on the battlefield, I've never in character seen combat. So here we are for the very last time, looking at what will become Anvil. And I did this for my last video log, and got the nations wrong, so I'm going to be a bit careful this time. So Varushka here, there's the main track down to our lovely in character looking toilet blocks over there. You've got the Orcish and Navarre gates over there. Over this side there'll be Urizen going up to the Hall of Worlds, which will be the big marquee at the top there, followed by Highguard. You can just see the stumps of the Sentinel gate there, and then you've got all of the other nations and Dawn and Wintermark way over in the field opposite. I'm sure they're going to be very happy from next year, where they will not be in a field well away from everybody else. What will the new site be like? Watch this space. I will hopefully be doing a video log of the new site at some point. Shh, I'm not sure I should mention that. What have we got here then? So actually there's very little actually on this field at the moment. There is the remnants of the forge, the in character and Profound Decisions out of character bar, and our in character toilets, as I mentioned. There is nothing else here, but you'll notice there are what we affectionately call coffins with numbers on, scattered around, so they will have kit in that's designed for being set out there. So yeah, I'll stop moving for a second and just pan around again. So we've come from where Games Operation Desk God will be over there, and as I said, Urizen, Highguard, weapons check will be about here, I'm guessing, or it might just be a bit there, not entirely sure exactly where. Brass Coast is at the top over there. There'll be traders here as well, and then the kind of imperial offices, the library, the militia, and the hub, which is where I work as a civil servant, all up in that corner there. Followed by down here will be the academy where all the kids are, and there'll be the Senate tent, which will be behind here. You won't be able to see it, it'll be around the corner. And then across, all the way across by the roadway here will be traders. And then over this side we've got, as I said, Varushka, and then we've got the League and the Marchers, and then Navarre spilling out of the woods. And then, yes, so that's it really. I'm not sure how much I wanted this video log. I've got a few more crew to interview like I did with my last one, and yes, we'll see what I end up filming, because of course, as you know, hopefully. There is no videoing allowed during time in on the site of Anvil, because basically, well, because LARP looks really crap when it's videoed. Basically everyone's expecting kind of Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings style acting, and of course, as we're aware, live role playing is actually about doing it for your own entertainment, so it never looks good on camera. Where should we go? I'm not actually sure we need to go anywhere. There's some woods, that's Navarre and Orcs. There's a field over there, that's a big empty field. It's Dawn on that side, Wintermark on that side, military council tents just inside. I think some Brass Coast might spill over into that field. So take one good look. This is probably the last time you'll see this field empty, unless you stay really late on Sunday night. And I'll finish this clip, and I'll see you in the next clip, which will be probably much nearer the event itself, and I think you'll find there'll be quite a bit different on this field by then. Okay. So it's 10:30 AM on Friday morning of the event weekend for pful, because you've just seen the last clip, and what a difference a few days has made. I'm currently, if I turn round, in the Wintermark Dornish field that is the other side of Anvil that I keep talking about. So over there behind the toilet blocks is Wintermark, and over there is Dawn. And if I flick the camera over, we can go for a quick explore here. Now bear in mind it's Friday morning. We probably had a couple of thousand players on site yesterday. Obviously timing doesn't occur till 6 PM tonight, so most of the rest of the players will all be arriving today. The weather's not looking the best for this event, but hey, it's September in the UK, what do you expect? So currently I'm walking up through Dawn being set up. Over there is the military council tent. Cars obviously allowed on site at the moment while people bring all their kit on, then they move the cars off. And if we just go up here, and I'll try to do this later on in the event when more of the tents and the in-character side are actually set up, at which point it'll be really clearly obvious the differences, because it is just set up now, and it's only half set up. So you can see, hopefully here, this is the Dornish tournament square. Glory Square, there you go, thank you. I forgot my words there. It's still early in the morning on a Friday. So yes, but obviously it's still being set up. So the Glory Square, because Dawn as a nation are kind of knightly and heraldic, and they kind of have yeofolk and nobles, and they fight in that Glory Square, which has a car in it at the moment. That will obviously be going way before time in about, what is it, 7.5 hours at 6 PM Friday evening. So I'm leaving Dawn, or Dawn being set up, and we're going to enter Wintermark, because I don't think I've actually done much of this in previous tours. So as we approach Wintermark, you will see one of the gates over there that is another boundary to Anvil. So effectively outside that is out of character. When you're inside it, you're in character. So if we go all the way up to there, up there will just be all the outer character tents, and you can park your cars there next to your tents. And we can also see some red caps, and I suspect they're properly traffic. Let's go and hassle them on camera before they even know what's happening. You can scoot before I get close to you. So yes, so here's some crew. So what crew roles are you doing?
We're traffic.
You're traffic. I thought you might be traffic. Right, cool. And what goes on, what traffic management do you need to do at this end?
So, currently, we are in the Dawn OC camping.
Yep, okay, so is it just Dornish players that are going to be camping here then?
Anybody.
Depending on
I mean, technically it can be anybody, couldn't they? So if they were Navarre players for some weird reason, they could end up here and walk up there, couldn't they? Yeah. Of course, all of this will completely change by the time people see this video, because next time we're going to be on our new site. So hey, anyway, so mostly Dornish and presumably some winter markers. So winter markers will be over that side, I'm guessing, because obviously winter marks that way. That's right, yes. I'm getting confused. Cool, so it's all pretty good at the moment then. And as you can see, the traffic crew they wear high vises so that you can kind of see them, and hopefully they won't get run over. Thank you for being just promptly on camera. I do interviews for staff, but like, you know, normally I don't try and surprise crew when I'm just doing stuff, but you just happened to be here when I was walking around. So right, thank you. Right, let's go back through the Wintermark Dawn divide back down here again then. And you can just see now Anvil kind of over there, so I'm going to walk to the edge of that and then I'll stop this clip. Of course, I realised talking to those traffic crew over there, and also one of the interesting things that actually kind of interrupted myself there, one of the interesting things about traffic crew is that because they do work before and after the event, for obviously when players arrive and then players leave at the end of the event, they get a special bonus of actually being able to play during the event. So it's a very good way for crew who can't afford to come to the event to basically come to the event, crew before, but have time, crew before and after the event doing traffic management, and then they get to play a character during the event and it hasn't cost them anything, and they get all the other crew benefits such as meal tickets and a crew t-shirt and the camaraderie ship that comes with being part of the PD crew. So what was I going to say? Yes, I was going to say that hopefully their voices won't be too diminished, because I forgot to put a microphone on them because I impromptu jumped on them. Anyway, so now on the edge of Wintermark, inside there is the bottom of Navarre and then the Imperial Orcs and then more Navarre. And this is the edge of, I mean, it's obviously still an in-character field, these are both in-character fields. So this is the edge of the Wintermark Dawn camp, back into the main central part of Anvil where most of the nations are. Oh, and I'm about to get run over by some more crew. So, as it says on their site vehicle, I think they're setting up Wi-Fi that we use for all our tablets for our referees and all our other crew. So this is the hub, which again is being set up at the moment. And actually is where I work along with all the other civil servants, and all of these nettings will have posters on. Right, so I'll give you another quick, I was about to give you a quick shot of nice view on the hill, from kind of on the hill from what Anvil was like, but the academy where all the kids are has kind of blocked it out. So you can just see the Navarre there that spread out from the woods, and then the main track is, let's go to the main track. Come on, we'll go to the main track. We'll go to the main track, then I'll stop recording this clip. So these are our lovely in-character toilet blocks. So they look really nice from a distance. Sadly, kind of their in-character kind of atmosphere is kind of spoilt by having blue TARDISes next to them. But hey ho. So yes, so we've just gone past the academy. This big tent here is the Senate, which is where the throne and the senators basically do lots of motions about how they're going to change the laws. More traffic management here. There you go, more traffic management. Directing the car on through the main track, because as I said earlier, it's not in character yet, so they can bring their vehicles on to move all their kit on. So this is the main tracks. Forge is further up there, you've got Moorish there, and then you've got other caterers and traders going up there. So I'll finish this clip here now, because it's been quite a bit of a clip. Thank you. So I've walked up the hill a little bit from where I was kind of down there. There's the traffic management guy around the corner there, wait. But I just thought, you know, since it's the last event at Dadford Road, you know, perhaps I ought to get a bit of historic video footage. So this is the Imperial Orcs camp entrance. Obviously, they're still setting it up. It's still Friday morning. But I just thought we'd go in and see what it's like, because we're going to miss these lovely woods. There is their lovely fighting pit. A few musical instruments there ready for them. So inside the Orc fighting pit. And then I love the Imperial Orcs area, because you've got this lovely small encampment with these little wooden paths around. I don't even know in character what this area is. I need someone to tell me. It's symbolically important to the Imperial Orcs. I mean, it's not in character. I feel kind of like embarrassed to actually go in there, you know. So yeah, so I can go. We can swing round. Let's swing round this way. We'll swing round here, and it actually goes on much further than it used to now. No, okay, so we end up in the main area. So this is kind of the central area of the Imperial Orcs, and then we go round the back. I say round the back, it's just like, you know, the back from the rest of Anvil. I think, judging by the fact that the fire pit's got some smoke in it, they must have had a fire last night there. The weather's lovely at the moment. I have a really bad feeling some future clips as part of this vlog are really not going to have such nice weather attached to it. So I'm still in the Imperial Orcs section, and I think this road here, if we look to the left, I don't think we can really see it, that's taking us down into the Wintermark, back at the bottom of the Wintermark field, and then I'm pretty sure that this side now is all Navarre that have spilled. I mean, basically Navarre kind of U-shapes and encompasses the Imperial Orc little encampment in the middle. But yes, enjoy these woods. We'll be very sad not to have these, to miss these on the new site. So I'm going to carry on walking up here, and ahead of me there is another gate. And again, that symbolises a divide between the in character and the out of character boundary. So all still Navarre up here. Again, they've got their cars on site so they can unload their stuff and then they'll move their cars off. They've got loads of time. You know, we've got like over 6 hours till time in yet. So that's the very back of the Navarre camp now. And then I think there's a path. Yes, there's one path going down there which would go to the central area for Navarre. So here we are on the boundary between the in character Navarre area and the outer character camping area. So we've got, again, cars, and we've got the outer character tents here. That field over there I think is car overflow. Doesn't really matter much, we're not using this site ever again after all these years. More cars down there, and then you can just about see here, this is effectively the entrance from the main road way down there at Silverstone, and then they come up here, and obviously this is the crew that are checking tickets. So they're coming in from that gate down there, up the hill, and then this is the crew tent for gate crew. Hello gate crew, how's it been this morning? Busy or quiet? Quiet, yeah, still early.
People coming back having gone.
Oh right, yeah, that makes sense, yeah. And there's kind of the little crew area that they've got here. Not very exciting, so I'm not going to bother going down that road. The only thing exciting down that road is that there is a permanent toilet block, which again will be something we'll sadly miss on the new site because it's got showers as well. So yes, so the cars are coming up, they're being checked, and then we've got a one-way system on this site. So yes, so basically that's us at the top end with the gate crew. So sadly, it was at this point that I hadn't realised that my microphones had cut out. So for the next 10 minutes, all of my talking has disappeared, and I have no idea what I said during that time because that was weeks ago. But I'll do my best to try and work out what is going on in these clips. So I've come back from the front gate into Anvil again, and I'm walking back down to Navarre. So more of the tents are on Anvil. There's a bit of Navarre, the Navarre main entrance, yes, I love this view because I think this view really shows Anvil as it gets populated. And like I say, this is still Friday morning, I think, so there's still some tents to go. All of that grass you can see there will get all filled in by Navarre, and then behind it is League and the Marches. So obviously I'm just panning around there, and then I guess what happens next, I think I just pan around there for a bit to show you what Anvil looks like at the current state, so you can compare it to the next clip in the future. Oh, and we've jumped. So that is the Senate tent that's now been set up. Only gone down 100 yards. And then, this is moorish. So this is, normally moorish is twice the size of this, but this was only a smaller moorish than normal. I have got consent from everybody inside to have this on. But I love the fact that we have an in-character restaurant where you can buy food with, unfortunately, barbarian out-of-character money, but you're still your character and you're still eating effectively and still talking in character when it's time in. So yeah, I do like that. I do like the fact that the restaurant is like that. And obviously there are other caterers. There's lots of caterers. Many of the caterers are in the out-of-character area that you'll have either seen before now or are going to see later in this video, hopefully. So yes, I think they were singing actually, but sadly we've lost all the audio. So back outside from the Moorish caterer, that's a Senate tent that's going to be set up. It'll have the throne in it. Next to it is a trader, I think, and then beyond it is the Senate building. Sorry, it's the, not Senate building, just talked about the Senate building, is the Forge, the tavern building. So now we're walking up past some of the traders down the main street. Players that have already set up or have been here since last night, of course, are all busy buying, shopping. Oh, there's my coffee cup. Oh, and way over in the distance, I'm probably saying there is the games operation desk, God, in the out-character field, way over there, along with first aid. There's gems trading, and then it looks like we're going up what I would call the main trader strip, except not all the traders are up yet. That'll be High Guard over there on the left. That I think is Das Shop, who sell second-hand, very cheap props and costumes, followed by Velvet Glove, who are a long-standing trader. A lot of the traders have been here for a long time. I'm guessing by the tent there that is Having a LARP. And then we've kind of got this open area. Yeah, that is definitely Having a LARP. They sell all sorts of weaponry and costumes and props. So kind of like lots and lots of bits and pieces. So yeah, we've got all these other traders that are going around this square that will have a tent in the middle of it actually, but it didn't go up till a lot later. So you can see, I think, about there is where it would be. But it's still a fairly big open space. And obviously, Empire being the biggest LARP in the country also has the most number of LARP traders in the country as well. So it's an excellent place to buy costumes where you can try it on first, and weapons. And because we have such a good relationship with all of our traders, if one of your weapons that you bought from there failed a safety check, they would take it back and they would sort it out for you, or give you money back, or let you change it for another weapon. So we're carrying on up with even more traders. That's Umbria Armory we're looking at there, who's run by an orc in character, but obviously not in character. Oh, and we've now jumped again. So we are now by the hub where I work as a civil servant. I think it looks like there's a new player meeting going on in there. That's the hub extension. There's a load of synod notices in there. Next to that is the magistrates and the militia. Magistrates being non-player characters, they're staff. Militia, obviously it looks really sad at the moment because it's not been fully dressed yet. Militia are players. You can join the militia if you wish to. And then next to that will be the Imperial Offices and the Anvil Library. I don't know which of those is going up now. You can see the red caps putting it up. I think that's Aaron and Chris, both senior red caps who have been red caps for many, many years. And I think Chris was telling me that I got it the wrong way round. So one of those is the Anvil Library with hundreds of books run by players. The other is the Imperial Offices that support the throne, again completely run by players. You can join and take part in both of those organisations. In here we have the new player meeting. I did consent them all, so it's fine. Is there a new player meeting going on right now, or are they just queuing ready for the new player meeting? I think they're just queuing. Looks like it hasn't started yet. But we have 3 of those on Friday at 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. If you've never been to Empire before, it's well recommended that you go to one of those first. There is a small video online that covers most of the same topics, but it's not the same as actually being there, and you'll get to meet Edgar's. Oh, there's one of my colleagues who's a civil servant who's busy getting his synod paperwork ready because he's a tribune. There's the 2 that are going to run the new player meeting, plus one of the crew from participant welfare. We've got like 400 crew now. It's crazy. But that's what you need when you're dealing with like 4,000 people in the field. So yes, this is a great place to go to as a player when it's time in, because you can look around and look at all the posters. You can chat to us civil servants because we're staff and ask us any question you like. And it's a hub of information and knowledge. So it's an excellent place. I think they're just about to start the new player meeting. Yeah, they are. Those 2 are just starting the new player meeting now. So that was why I then got to leave, really, let them get on with it. Oh, and I've jumped quite across to the other side of the field. This must be much later. So I'm sneaked in to the plot monster tent. So don't let anybody know, because really I'm not sure we should be in here and let you see behind the scenes, behind the curtain, a bit like Wizard of Oz. So this is all of the costume that's been laid out for each of the nations, ready for the non-player characters, the staff and the plot staff, to dress up in for all the plots. So it's all laid out per nation, as you can see there. It's really good because you can see thematically how different each of the nations is there. But it's all laid out, so if you're playing, if they need a league NPC for a league plot, then they can go and grab a bit of costume from there. If it's Dornish plot, you grab a bit there. So this is all costume that our NPCs wear and plot staff wear. Obviously, we've got 10 racks there because we have 10 nations. And then I think the next clip, luckily, the audio comes back, so I can stop trying to guess what I originally said. Anyway, yes, sneaky peek behind the curtain there in the plot/monster tent, being very careful not to let you see anything that was about to occur this event by showing you left where all the plot staff actually hang out, and to the right of this all the skirmish crew hang out, and behind me is actually the makeup, because we have several makeup staff, because there's a lot of makeup required for our NPCs. And now hopefully back to proper audio. So I'm up. This is High Guard, and this is the interface, and then this is Brass Coast over this side, I think. No, it's still High Guard over there. Brass Coast more over that way. And then we're moving around to the 360. We've got the hospital, the stumps of the Sentinel Gate, the War Scout, that's a staff member, a non-player character, who helps with the conjunction, so you know when you can go for the Sentinel Gate. And then over there we have the Reggio, the stone circle for magic, and the Hall of Worlds that doesn't exist in the game, but is where the mages go to for conclave by using operate portal spell. So it's actually in another realm. But interestingly, right now, if we look, go past the hospital and look past the Sentinel stumps, there is one of a series of new player meetings going on. Designed for new players. This particular one is all about combat and skirmish and how the system works. So all of these players over here are being taught by some referees about how combat works in our system, and then they're having a quick practice. And then in actual fact, so this is part of the skirmish field that you go through for the big battles. And if we go back through the Sentinel Gate again, and if we go up more towards the Hall of Worlds, which, as I said, doesn't in-game exist, we'll actually spot that going on in the Hall of Worlds, I noticed, is another new player meeting, but I don't know what that one is about. It will be about a part of the game, because we have new player meetings to discuss, as well as the new player meetings in the hub, where we discuss everything in brief. These are specialised ones, so you're just in that combat one, but there'll be one about alchemy and potions, one about Senate and levers of the game you can pull, one about magic generally, and so on. So they're all on lots of different subjects. And as I said, I've no idea what the particular one is off the top of my head that is going on right now. But there is definitely one going on there in the Hall of Worlds. I might be able to work out what it is when I see who's actually running it. It's Father Dracoff running it, who's a Vrushgan. And I don't know what it's about, embarrassingly. Could be economics, could be magic, could be anything, who knows. But yes, the list of those is on the wiki and published every event, and it's ideal for you to go to the one that kind of suits the sort of character you think you're playing. So we're now up, gone past Highguard. This is the Urizen camp here. We're getting a little bit more towards time in now. I think it's about 3 hours to time in, so it's getting a little bit more solidified. Cool.
Writers.
So it's Saturday morning, it's just after 6 a.m, so dawn has only just occurred. It's just got bright enough that I can hopefully go and find a good space and do the very last walking tour of Dadford Road, Anvil. So I'm going to go and find a good position to start from over the other side of Anvil. Right, I've got a coffee. I think the microphone's working. So here it is. Let me just take a coffee. So before we go into Anvil again, I'll do another sweep round here yet again. So the toilet blocks are there. We have games operation desk, which is strangely not open at this time in the morning. There. We have first aid there. So we now have accessibility camping, I believe, and some crew and some other camping there. And actually, of course, since we're over here anyway, there's obviously a few people around, and they're very early risers, but not very many. So way up there is the tent you go through to get kitted up if you're monstering one of the two big battles. So in about 4 hours time, there'll be the people that are the players that are monstering this battle because they're playing their characters tomorrow. So here we are at the trader court and food hall. So mostly it's out of character caterers on that side, and then some of the LARP traders on this side, and then you've got a big marquee in the middle of the horseshoe that you can just sit in. So let's get on with the Anvil tour. So out of character area, gonna go into the in character area. For the very last time at Dadford Road. And cross the out character and in character boundary, but obviously it doesn't count as being in character technically till 10 o'clock, which is why I'm allowed to do this filming now. So 10 o'clock is time in today, which will go all the way through to 1 a.m. Early Sunday morning. So we can do the whole tour. We've got enough time. Where should we start? Let's go this way through Varushka. So straight down the first path. Luckily, as I said, I've got my microphone on now, so unlike my last walking tour at this time, you should be able to hopefully hear me. So down the first path in Varushka. The Sovereign's Head Tavern. They've got a very nice little couple of signs there, so you can tell. And we've got a nice area there you can sit in. Oh, I notice in Varushka here we have some magical effects going on here. Keep those naughty heralds of Eternals out. So this is the I love signs like these. These are great. They make it really feel like a medieval town. So this is the edge of Varushka, and up there would be the marches. So let's just stay in Varushka for the moment. We'll keep on going round. Oh, I just want to have a look at what did they? I mean, on their lovely thing. What have they actually got? Let's have a look. They got. Oh, they just got some bits and pieces here at the moment, and a shop back soon. Please take a card. Okay. Let's. Oh, apparently the eel milking live, all the tickets are sold out for that. Okay. So there's big paths like this that are deliberately left by the camp planners throughout Anvil to obviously allow things like ambulances and emergency vehicles to get through. I was hoping I could get back up into Varushka because we're going along the bottom here. So we've got marches there and we've got League. And I wanted to get back into Varushka to show you the rest of Varushka before we moved on to the next nation. The giant tent ahead is the Senate. Okay, let's go around here. Obviously, at this time in the morning, I'm not as wide awake as normal, so more difficult for me to actually think of things to say. So back into Varushka again. I think it is the Iron Boars, so I'm guessing it is Varushka both sides. Yep, there's a vale there. The word vale is a word used in Varushka to basically mean your kind of village where you're from. So we can turn around here. Oh, it's a trading company selling and buying things. So we can go back into Varushka here. Another, like I say, I love these little signs. Another little way in. Oh, again, warded effect. Presumably the same one. I'm a bit sniffy this morning, sorry about that. Okay, so this is the kind of central area of Varushka, which is a really nice area. They run the night market here. They have the fire pit going all night. So this is kind of the central busy area. There'll be a national Varushkan tent here that grandmother, who's one of the egregores and the other egregores, will hang out in most of the time, which could well be that tent there, I'm not sure. And then we have these lovely, very in character looking caravans from some of the players. So effectively I've covered all of Varushka there. There's a couple of outline bits I probably have missed. So Varushka done. So let's back onto the main track again. So I started over there. There's Games Operation Desk, going down the main path. So where do I go next? Let's go back a bit and up the first path here. So this will take us into Urizen, which is another of the, well, Urizen is kind of a nation that has a lot of mages in it, and they live in spires in the mountains, generally speaking. So remember, this is the in-character area. This is Anvil, so you can only have in-character tents in this area. Again, these are great for players to be able to role play under in incremental weather. So having cover, but some outside. I love the fact they've covered their benches there. Not the fact it's just purple, honest. So I didn't actually go into Urizen at all yesterday. There's a map of the Empire on there. They're selling pouches for £2 each, it looks like, and you have to put the money in a box. I've obviously just removed the box. This looks like Urizen have their own national notice board, already full of lots of paperwork. And they've got a list of who's responsible and what's going on in their nation. A little fire pit. Morning. So, getting to the top of Urizen. I think it's Urizen both sides here. Oh, there was another set of tents behind this set of tents. And a little. So there's a little, so I could get, so not very exciting, because it's just all bell tents and light around the back there, so another set of tents there as well. So Urizen goes up into a kind of area up there by the looks of it. So now we're at the top of Urizen, and Urizen being the kind of most highly dense populated nation with mages, and being a very magically orientated nation, kind of has a place right by the Regio, which is our stone circle that they do rituals in, and to enable them to do that, we have the special effects and referee desk, which is here. So let's walk through the Regio. The Hall of Worlds, I've mentioned this before, the Hall of Worlds doesn't exist in Anvil. Technically, you can't just walk straight into this tent in character during time in, and that's why that sign is there that says that. You've got to be a mage and you've got to be able to cast Operate Portal or use some other dodgy way of getting in. So this is where Conclave was run last night by the prefect, and I started that off in character, and we had about 250 to 300 mages crammed into here. This was solid, absolutely solid yesterday, where they debated and voted on a lot of declarations that had been raised earlier on Friday after time in. And then at the other end of the Hall of Worlds is this mysterious portal, which is where the heralds of the super powerful magical beings, the Eternals, come through into our realm if they can. Oh, in fact, actually, you can even see this was what Conclave debated yesterday. So the bursar, who's a player, writes down all of these declarations, which are all raised by players. And the precedence order is a list of how many mages from each order attended Anvil last summit, last event, so that we can work out who talks first, which order talks first. Because there's 7 orders, from Shuttered Lantern at the top there, all the way down to Celestial Arch at the bottom there. And this is our 1-minute timers, because you pay mana to be able to talk. And then we civil service NPCs turn these over to give you time to talk. So you can only talk that length of time. So, I'm meant to be doing a tour of Anvil, aren't I? So, let's go out of the Hall of Worlds, the interplanar area that doesn't exist in Anvil, technically. So we've just gone up Urizen. So now we're going to go down the next one, which is going to be, well, yeah, it's a good question. I think this is probably between the two nations. I think this will be between Highguard, who are mostly in the next street, and Urizen on this side. So this is between the two nations, I think. So Highguard is a nation of highborn who, if you'd say that Urizen is full of mages that are very magically orientated, Highguard is very virtue and religious orientated, so have a lot of connections with the synod. They also kind of are, in character, kind of one of the oldest nations. So you get a kind of view of Anvil and a lovely view of the sky because it's so beautifully quiet. All the live role players are asleep because some of them would have been up since, well, time out was 1 AM last night. So some of them would have been up way past that, no doubt. So that wasn't a very exciting street, it has to be said. It's kind of the backs of Urizen and the backs of Highguard. So we'll get back to the main road. You know, try not to disorientate you too much. Flick around and go back up the next bit of Highguard, which will be hopefully their main street, and therefore you kind of get more of an idea. I mean, obviously all the tents are kind of shut right now, so you don't get to see all of the exciting stuff that's going on. You need to look at the photos for that because we're not allowed to video during timing. So I'm back on the main drag again. Games operation desk and first aid over there, all the way down the road there. That's one of the out of character caterers, but they've got an in character looking tent, so they're allowed in here. That's the smoky hole. And I see it looks like actually they're probably getting ready to just put breakfast on, because don't forget, people are going to be up to start monstering at 10 and to play their characters at 11. So we're now here, so we're still on the edge of Vrushka down that side, and then that should be weapons check. I can't see their giant weapons check sign. And then this is Highguard. So this is Highguard's main strip. Where is the weapon check sign? I'm thinking to myself. Normally it's on the side of their marquee and they've not put it on there. How weird, unless they've taken it off overnight because they didn't want to get it wet or something. So here we go, up through the main part of Highguard. So again, a little notice board there. The chapter house looks like that on Ebron's Hall. Guess that might be one of their, might be a bar. It looks like a bar to me. They've all got their little banners to represent their chapter. Oh, there's another area effect there. You have a profound sense that service to a personal cause is truly worthy. Nothing extraordinarily is achieved without sacrifice. That's classic Highguard. And in the same way that we saw Vrushka having a central area and Urizen having that little area with the notice board, Highguard kind of have this as their central area. So we have Rykos's, I don't know, I can't read that bottom bit, but kind of have this bar here. And then on this side, we have the chapel. And I think if we go and have a look at the notice board, we shall see what's on, according to Highguard. There you go, and there is their little chapel. How do I know that that was there? Well, let you into a secret. My outer character partner happens to currently play a Highguard egregore. So I happen to know that she was busy writing that notice with everything on it. Hi Caroline, if you're watching this. So we're back up at the top end here. So there's the Reggio and the Hall of Worlds. There is the stumps of the Anvil Gate, Sentinel Gate. What am I talking about? Sentinel Gate. So in character, so this is the War Scout, who is non-player character. I think I mentioned this on a clip yesterday. And that is the hospital, the Anvil Hospital, which is run by players. So lots of healer players go there, so that when people come back through battle, they can immediately be seen. So in character, you have to wait for a conjunction. Then mostly the heroes of the Empire, the fighters, will all line up and they will go through the Sentinel Gate. They will go through here, and they are Stargate magically transported to wherever that conjunction is to, which will be the edge of the Empire quite often. And they'll be directed by referees to go wherever, and then there'll presumably be a battle, or maybe not. It all depends on what the mission is. And I have no idea. In character, I've never gone through the Sentinel Gate onto the battlefield, because why would I? I value my life far too much. So, and then obviously we've got loads of woods and fields that they can battle in, except sadly, of course, once we move off Dadford Road site, it will be a completely different side. And at least for the first few years, we have no proper woods on the new site. But we'll obviously set up Anvil, so there'll be the same rough layout. So there'll be a Sentinel Gate somewhere, and you will transport through it. So again, you can't go through this unless you're in character going through with conjunction. Hospital, mostly full of benches for people to lie on and roleplay dying, or roleplay diseased, or roleplay whatever. So where have we just come from? We just came up from there, didn't we? Did we just come up from there? Yes we did, because there's a chapel. Fine, we just came up from there. So let's go, so we're going to go move further on. So now we're going to leave Highguard and we're going to enter Brass Coast. And thematically, from a costume perspective, Brass Coast is so different from Highguard. So Brass Coast is all kind of bright colours, and they have lots of traders. Morning. Right, Brass Coast gets a bit confusing here actually, because there's right. So I think there's a path down there which I don't think goes anywhere. You see the edge there, and in fact, if you look just over, you can just see Dawn peeking through with their glory square in the other field. But we're going to go this way, because I think this way will get us back out. So where was I? Yes, lots of traders in Brass Coast. You know, you can go into Brass Coast and they're selling sweets and all sorts. I mean, there's traders in every nation, but thematically it's different. It's kind of, I'm just kind of rambling on it. This might be their central space. It's hard to tell really. I mean, it is a big space. They do auctions and all sorts in Brass Coast. That's a great tent for. I'm not sure how easy that is to put up, but that's a great tent to be able to have your group under. And I love this as well. So this lights up. So you walk under this, and there's their Brass. So Brass Coast got a notice board. I think most of the nations probably have a notice board. So now we're exiting Brass Coast, and we're actually going into what I would call Traders Row. So these are the out of character traders. So there are all of these tents around here, behind that big marquee there, up there. There's Jim's Wandering Shop that I mentioned on a previous clip, and there over there is Dawn into the other field. So these are all traders. So We could go down there, you can just see a bit more of Rushka down the bottom there. So we could do the bottom of that field, or let's actually, just to confuse you, let's go up here and we're going to go into the next field. So we're going to go and see Dawn and Wintermark. We'll see if we can walk up to the Glory Square and then across into Wintermark. So I mentioned yesterday about having to pop to Umbria Armories and pick up my pouch that I paid for. So I love his little box. So he's got little booklets. This booklet, by the way, although it costs £2, so it's quite expensive, is really good for new players. He's got a magazine, and then he's got the Oathright newspaper, and you can just pay there if he's not here. In fact, I actually owe him some money because I took some of those new player books for putting in the hub. So this bit here is still the edge of Brass Coast, and then we can pop down into the Glory Square. So into the Glory Square, into Dawn. Morning. So I think this is still the edge. This is still the edge of Brass Coast, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So this is still the edge of Brass Coast here. They kind of expanded over the hedge into this area. Before we go into Dawn, because I have mentioned it, let's pop into the Military Council tent. So Military Council tent. So this is where all the generals sit, and one of my colleagues, the Herald, will chair the meetings, and they'll play a big war game. So they'll take this map here. There's a whole load of pieces, should be in here. Let's just double check. Yeah, you see, here you go. Box is haunted, but it's out of character, I'm fine. So what they do is they'll take all of these and they'll lay them all out for all of the different orc armies, the barbarian armies and our own armies. They'll lay them all out, and then they'll discuss and argue and debate where we should be protecting, and that's when those decisions are made about which fights we're actually going to go on. There's some notices up there. I have no idea what they're telling me. Oh look, I think that looks telling where the Grendel armies are, where the Druge armies are, where the Jotun armies are, I think. And then we've got some banners up around the outside. So this again, during military council meetings, is just solid full of the generals, their adjutants, anyone observing. Anyone's allowed to observe except senators. Senators are not allowed inside the tent during the meetings. It's just an in-character law. Right, okay, so that was a little bit of overspill from Brass Coast. That's where we've just come from. And now we're going to go up through Dawn. So Dawn is the kind of nightly heraldic, I think I mentioned this the other day. So they've got houses, see, there you go, there's a little spot down there. This is kind of the main strip, so I guess if you're, I don't know, I guess the houses must vie for wanting to be in this main strip, because of course you're going to walk up to it because you're walking up to the Glory Square. A little bar there. I think I talked to them at this time in the morning on a previous walking tour. So, previous clip on this tour, you saw what the Glory Square was. I called it Tournament Square. It's because I was promoting Empire at England's Medieval Festival. So they had a tournament square. So anyway, Glory Square. It's called a Glory Square. Oh, I love those. Look at those. So this is the Dawnish Glory Square. And again, houses are all around the outside of it. It's really weird being so quiet. Let's quickly, we'll walk around the outside. The inside's just a big area that they can do their tournaments in and fight for glory. And they'll do things like, there's a set of positions called the Knight Protector. So you have the Knight Protector of Autumn, which is this summit, and they'll do a tournament of some sort to decide who is going to be the Knight Protector. Sky's looking really nice at the moment. Up in the top corner, across there. go over the top. So we came up one street, but there are other streets. Dawn is quite a big nation. It's not as big as Wintermark and Navarre, but it's still a big nation. So I'm sure we've not hit most of it. Oh, what have they got over there? Oh, chocolate truffles. Golden truffle contest. Excellent. And you see, this is obviously a big bar here. I'm just going to put my coffee down. Oh, what's this? Oh, I don't know. Let's just pop into the bar here. Have a look what they got. So they got some posters up on there. I haven't got how much. Oh, well, I can see pies. Pork, veg, and beef pies are £1 each. And again, they've tried to disguise the tables here a little bit. You know, quite a good idea putting Hessian sacking on their tables to make them look more in character. It's all about, you know. Oh, there's a box here. What's this? Due to the success of the summer horse drawing contest. So horses are interesting. So when the game was set up, there had to be justification why we're running a pseudo fancy medieval society, a pseudo medieval thing, and yet there are no horses, because surely you'd have horses. So in character, horses are mythical creatures. They did exist. It's one of the reasons why horses use as an emblem an awful lot. I'm just going down this street. And now a notice board, cleverly covering it to make sure it doesn't get too wet. The Ragged Talon. Guessing that's another tavern, I don't know. Lighting again, got stuff there. Morning. And so that was another street in Dawn. Strangely, not many people are talkative at this time in the morning. I wonder why. So now we're at the bottom of Dawn again. So there again is that military council tent. I don't know who those few tents are. I wonder if they're more Brass Coast spillover. I have no idea. There's our lovely in-character toilet blocks that I went past yesterday, but as far as you're concerned, a few clips ago. And the hub is over there, which is the administration centre of Anvil, which is where I work as a civil servant, and where all our posters are, so you can just come in. So we go around here. So this is, I'm guessing, this road here up to the out of character car parking out character tents, and where I talked to some crew on a previous clip. I'm guessing this is the cut over between Dawn on this side and Wintermark on this side. So Wintermark is the second biggest nation, 700 to 800 players currently in this nation. I think it's about that. Pretty sure I'm around that. So we're walking down the main strip. Well, this isn't the main strip, this is kind of the, well, I suppose it actually might be it. I mean, there's tents all down there now. I don't know if there is a main strip for Wintermark actually. I'm going to go up there in a minute into Navarre. So this is all Wintermark. If you've got any questions, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll answer them. Or you can contact me. I'm easy to contact. If you've got anything you want to know about Empire, I'm paul@profounddecisions.co.uk. And if I don't know the answer, I can pass you on to someone who will know the answer. So you've got all of these ones down here, all Wintermark. And then this is the central area for Wintermark. In fact, looks like their fire pit's even still going a little bit. Oh, we've got another little box. I did like little boxes. What's this for? Submission for the Imperial Book of the Dead. Okay. Look at that sky. All these players are missing it. They were too busy role-playing last night. Oh, okay. What we got going on here? Resources. No, I have no idea what that's telling me. yeah, the fire pit is still slowly steaming from London. That could have been going to. There's a, I think, could be wrong here, and I'm sure I'll get corrected. I think that is to do with the storm crows. So Wintermark actually is 3 traditions, I think they're called, which is the, I'm not going to get this right now, the Steiner. No, I can't actually remember what they all are. That's really embarrassing. I really ought to remember what they are. But there's 3 different traditions. So actually, when I talk about each nation thematically looking quite different, in Wintermark, they've actually got 3 mini themes for costuming. You'll have to look it on the wiki. I've just forgotten what they are, unless we happen to bump into someone who's actually awake at this time in the morning and can actually tell me, because all the Wintermarkers will know exactly what the 3 are. And actually I normally know. I'm just a bit, nice little weapons out there. I'm just a bit phased at the moment. Dun half, so another, and the dun in. So that will be the Dunnings. I'm not going to go back through Dawn, which is that way. I'm going to just turn round. The Dunnings are a really big group in Wintermark. Oh, actually, can we just? This is a bit risky because if I just pop through here, I have no idea where I'm actually going to end up. I think I'm just going to end up in the back. Yeah, this is just in the back. You see, it's just a bit pointless. You see, if I was a professional blogger, content creator, I'd edit those bits out. But that's not kind of how I roll. Another little bar. Back to the central area for Wintermark. And then, so again, we're now right on the edge of the in-character Anvil area. Oh, there's another sign. Farms, forest, the herb gardens. Those are all resources you can take. So as a character, you get to have 1 resource. So every character by default gets 18 rings, which is the money, and you have a resource. So you can have a mine or a forest or a herb garden or congregation, and there's a whole bunch. There's about 10 of them. And thematically, you're kind of, you can take the one that suits your nation better, but you don't have to. So you can decide to be helping your nation be part of the big nation push, or you can just basically be an outlier, an independent. So again, this is the in-character, out-character boundary. I don't think I've ever been in this field. So this is the jolly exciting field with out-of-character tents in and cars. Morning. Are you Wintermarkers? Do you mind being on camera a second? I just got one question to ask you. What are the 3, are they called traditions?
3 traditions?
Yeah, Steiner and Stormcrows. What are the three different traditions called in Wintermark? Do you know what they are?
No, not traditions.
What do you call them?
The 3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's
Calavesi, that's them.
Steiner and Suak.
Thank you very much, because I couldn't remember at this time in the morning what they were.
Yeah, no, Steiner are the best, people of the stars.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I told you up front a Wintermarker that would give me the answer to that. So the 3 peoples, they're not traditions, they're peoples. And obviously, the great thing about the game is that, you know, is that we're all very keen and proud to support what we are. So if you're playing a Wintermarker, and a Wintermarker, to be fair, is one of the easier nations to come into in terms of kitting yourself up. So that is why it's such a big nation, because it's this good nation to come into. And that actually leads me quite nicely onto the biggest nation in the game currently, which is Navarre, which again kind of is topping out somewhere near the 800 mark. They're also a nation that takes a lot of new players coming in, because again it's a very easy nation to kit up for, because Navarre are very they're a bit like Rangers and browns and leather and greens, and they have branding on their face, which is quite easy to put on, so it's tattoos, so they're very recognisable. So that's Navarre, which we're about to go into now, in the woods. So it's just exiting Wintermark. Sorry for my sniffing still. Those two winter markers, I don't know how long they've been playing the game or not. That's just funny, just putting them on the spot like that. Right, so this is all still in character. So now we're entering Navarre, and as I said on a previous clip on this tour, Brackenbeak Trade Hall, this way. Look at a post box, they got a post box. You on a slip write your message, put it in the envelope, seal it, go and do a whole lot of stuff, and they give you those as a note. It's so good. So there's a little bit down here. I'll quickly go down here. I'll be quiet. I have no idea. I'm guessing people will be asleep in these tents. So I've never been down this little bit. I don't even know where it goes out to. Can you actually get out the other side? I think, oh, it's going behind the in-character. It's going behind the in-character looking toilet blocks. So someone's just coming back that way, so you can do it. There's a little bar there. The Unnamed School of Mysticism. Right, there we go. So I'll go back down. So where was I? Yes, Navarre, like Wintermark. I mean, the new players go in any nation. There's no reason why you can't go in any nation at all. But obviously, the bar's a little bit higher for trying to kit out on some of these nations, especially if you've done any form of live role playing before, or you've got a bit of kit. But it's just an easier nation to kind of get into to begin with. The Silver Cloud Cereal Shack is apparently this way. How are we doing? This is obviously going to be a longer tour than the last one. And you've got lots of little posters on the wall there. You've got another, there's Kraken's Rest, that looks like there. So you've got some, and they're going all the way back over there, aren't they? Hearts Bane. So yeah, there's, there's a little pathway down there. The Long Hall, that says. Black Hawk School of Combat. They appear to have a little Navarre National Training. They appear to have a little area there for training in, by the looks of it. I don't know. You've got to bear in mind, I don't get that hub, and I'm just working most of the time, so I'm just zipping into nations and out of nations. Oh, here's a little. They appear to have a little performance area here. This is quite cute. I like that lectern. That looks like some traders. Oh, the Nabar. Yes, there you go. Look at their little trolley that they can just take around. In fact, here's a really. Look, they've left all their stuff out so we can show you. Look at all this. I love this. Maps of Anvil. Dragon's eggs, art for sale. Love them, they've all got little prices on them, that's great. Apparently you can get hot chocolate here. Self-service hot chocolate, what, even at this time in the morning? Probably not. Maybe they mean in character self-service. I mean, it's not in character yet, still not anywhere near 10 o'clock. And it looks like you're going all the way. Okay, so that's a bar at the back there, so that's a dead end, let's go back round. Yeah, if I've videoed your existing players, I don't know what you're doing watching this for existing players, unless you're kind of just getting nostalgia. But if you're existing players and I've mentioned your group on this, feel free to do a shout out down below. Silver Cloud Cereal Shack, I guess appears to be selling cereal by the looks of it. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, look at that little. Guess they're going to be busy in a minute. Oh, they've got the milk out already. Oat, soya, and moo. I'm guessing that's cow. We haven't been down there yet, have we? Oh, I'm getting confused. Right, where are we going to go? We're going to go up here. So I could go down there, which goes back out onto the main field of Anvil. It's going to be difficult doing every path in Navarre because there's so many little paths. Needles and nibbles. Need less. Oh dear. We've got a path there as well. Let's go up here. So again, I'm going towards an outer character boundary on the edge of Anvil. So we're kind of at the very top left, I would say. I mean, it depends what you look at it. We're at one corner of Anvil. Prosperity prices for buying in-character stuff. Morning. The entwined pantry, I think that says. So yeah, this is kind of the very, very top corner. So if I just go right here, you'll see. Oh, I think if I am where I think I am, yes we are. We've been here before. We've been here before because, or have I filmed here before? I'm not sure now. So we've got cars and tents. And there's the, yeah, I'm sure I have filmed here before. So there is the crew area that is for gate and traffic management there. So let's go back into Navarre and go down a couple more of their streets. As you notice now though, compared to when I was last here, there is no cars on site because it's all in character looking now. And that's the great thing about live role playing. You know, when you're here and you're in character and you're dealing with thousands of other people and they're all costumed up and they're all talking about in character things, you just forget about the real world and you just basically are just immersed in a evocative pseudo medieval fantasy village of thousands of people with everyone doing their own thing. And that's what's so great about it. And you know, I know new players who've done nothing other than basically just be tourists for their first event when they're just bimbling around. A bit like what I'm doing now, but obviously when loads of people are here. I love you can do this kind of thing with tents to get heating in them. So this is the central area for Navarre. There's a very famous thing they run here. I think they're called songs and stories. So there'll be hundreds of players around here. Fire will be going, and they have songs and stories, literally. You see what I mean? There's just so many streets up here. I don't know where I'm going. There's another street up there. That again is going to out of character areas. You can just wander around. Synod board apparently took them with some of the judgments. And then morning. Oh, so we could go. Where should we go? There's another street down there. We'll go back out to central Anvil now, out this way. So I'm definitely missed some of the streets in Navarre because there's a few too many streets, but hopefully I've done enough in Navarre to give you an idea about what it's like. The Horny Horse, Ambrosia, Dirty Siren, I guess they're selling drinks. Saddler's Arms, oh, they're doing maps and things, documents. That appears to be a little glady area. Not sure what that's for. Never seen that in character myself. Looks a little bit like the Imperial Orcs one that I showed you on a previous clip. Okay, so back out into the big field of Anvil. So this is Navarre Overspill. This is kind of the Navarres that aren't in the woods. And then look at that. So, where next? Down there is the Senate building again, Senate tent, Moorish, that I popped into yesterday just opposite. So let's go straight ahead and down this one. So where are we now? I think we're going to enter the League. So the League is four, I think, city-states, 4 big cities. They wear kind of Italian Renaissance posh clothing style, and they're about cartels and businesses. I'm not very good really at summing up the nations somehow. You really got to kind of look at the wiki and find a nation you like the look of. The Looking Glass, I can tell that because I've got my little notice board there. They're a group that are devoted to talking about the current fashion trends. So we can go up here. Oh, yeah, I guess this is as near as you're going to get to a central area maybe for the League. That says League Fleet Hub. We've got a little fountain there. Oh, here's a League, presumably their national notice board. I mean, I really ought to know more about the League, really, considering that technically my character, my non-player character, is in fact a League character from Sarvos. 250 years of Imperial Holberg. Holberg is one of the cities. I think they claim it's the greatest city. I think they won a contest somehow in character at some point. So, we're at the top of the League. So hopefully when I turn round, there's a water standpipe over there. So you can get water from anywhere. You might be able, there you go. Right. So let's go Crimson Reapers. Oh, I've heard of the Crimson Reapers. They're quite a very famous, presumably large group. I believe they're a very financially wealthy group in the League. So, going across the top here isn't very exciting, is it? Again, you've got outer character cars and tents over there. Let's find the next street. There's another water tap there. And then we can go down here. How's this house? Crossland. Ooh, rhubarb cider. Only 10 rings apparently. Another bar there. So again, we're still in the League here. The Dancing Goose. I do like it when they actually have like little signs saying what they are, and that's the great thing. Like I say, you can just wander around as a tourist around Anvil because everyone is trying to get your custom. They want your money, or you can trade or barter resources or your skills or expertise. Oh, got religious icons for sale there for 4 crowns, which is the All Virtues Chapel apparently. Oh, and here's hang about, no, we're in the marches now, because that says Marcher Community Hall, so now I'm completely confused. I've obviously managed to get from the League into the marches, because I come from the back side. I don't know what this interesting looking building is. Oh, it's a PD one that says it's been secured as being unsafe, unfortunately, so it can't be used. We have a very good Red Cap team who obviously going to follow health and safety rules. Right, so we're approaching back into Varushka again down there. So I think there's a street up there, so the marches must have 2 streets, I'm guessing. Because I thought they just had the end here, but obviously not, because I managed to walk from the League into the marches. So now at this corner, over that hedge, I see they've got a big area up here. Over that hedge to my right is back to where I was talking near God, the games operation desk, and has accessibility camping. And beyond it is out of character. You can probably just see some more cars and hence the out of character camping. So yes, I could go back up here because there's obviously another street for marches. Get confused here. What's it? House Boar Bridge here. Fire of the March, as it says on that one. Right, fine. So now, yes, we've done the marches now. So we've done the marches in the league. Have we done all the nations? We didn't do the Imperial Orcs, did we? We'll have to see if we can go back. Okay, let's see if we can go back and do the Imperial Orcs. What's going on in the Marcher Community Hall? Oh, that's Friday. Don't think they've updated it for today yet. So, Marcher Tea Company. Right, we'll go back down here again. You get a bit deja vu now because I've already done this, so I've just done a loop. What are we running at? God, I think we've done like a... It's a bit long walking all around Anvil. And this is with nobody here. You know, once you've got thousands of citizens, thousands of characters basically wandering around, then it gets a little bit harder to walk around. Another marcher. Oh, what's that? The Kingstoke. That's another tavern. Okay, yeah, there's back to Eel Milking Live having sold out. So we're back to the main track again. We did go down there, didn't we? So let's not do that. Let's go back up through Varushka. Wolven Weavers. They got a nice covered tavern there. Tavern is a good way. Logistical, because takes a lot of work, but did we go in the central area of Varushka? By their half? I'm not sure we did. No, we must have done. Yes, we did, because I was talking about the caravans. These little caravans, here's the back of them. Sovereign's Head Tavern, yes, I'm pretty sure we covered that. So we'll go back to the main road in Anvil. My coffee's gone cold now, this is very upsetting. Gonna need another coffee as soon as I finish this, I tell you. Right, so what have we done? We haven't done Imperial Orcs. How did I miss Imperial Orcs out? It's because they're kind of enveloped around. Smallest nation, but they have a massive impact on the game. And also, you know, you've got to be in awe of players who are going to spend all weekend wearing an orc mask and looking not like they're human. Yesterday in Conclave, there was an election, and one of the candidates was orcish. They didn't get in, but the orcs just add so much to the game. And the interesting thing is, it's not because they get any benefits from skills perspective, because you don't. From a rules perspective, you don't actually, it's just all role playing. There is no benefit to being an orc over being a human or being what is called a lineage human. You know, if you're a changeling or a Cambion, it's just all to do with the role playing. So, you know, I just love the orcs for the players of orcs for being adding so much to the game. And quite frankly, you know, you're playing an Imperial Orc and you've really got problems on the battlefield because, you know, you can get mistaken if you don't watch it for a Barbarian Orc and end up being slotted by your own side. Oh, we've just gone past the Forge, which is the one bar that takes out of character money, the only bar that takes out of character money that is run by us, Profound Decisions. Senate. What's going on in Senate? Nothing. It's not time in. But I was here last night at 10 o'clock last night. So in here we had the throne, the Empress, who is a player, on there, and I was sitting on that chair there, and then my colleague, the Speaker, was on the other chair, and all the senators were there, and then this is where the crowd was. and they debated the motions that the senators have put forward. Right, okay, so we're over here because we're going to go and look at the Imperial Oaks. So now I've got to make sure I get in the right entrance. I did this wrong on a previous tour, so that's the Silver Cloud cereal sack, which we passed before, I don't know, about 20 minutes ago. So we know full well that that is Navarre, even though I didn't do all the roads in it. Sorry, Navarre players. And we're going to go up here and go turn hard left in a second into the Imperial Oaks. It's just I'm walking. That's really going to confuse you because now I'm walking forwards and putting the camera backwards. Right, these are Navarre overspill. Oh, there's some very early risers with a fire. It's about 10 degrees at the moment, so it is a little bit chilly. Okay, Imperial Oak Camp. So, you might remember, if you've actually watched all of this, that there was this little bit here that I can't remember what it was. I didn't know what it was. Orc fighting pit. I'm not actually sure it's going to look any different. I mean, I guess there'll be a few more tents in here now, but it won't look any different from when I was here last. But look at these little archways, little avenues, little covered avenues. Oh, they seem to have something. Apparently, did you know a day eternal is always watching? Apparently. What's they got? Oh, that's their. That's their little, slightly smaller notice board. But this looks pretty much how we saw it the other day. To be fair, just with a few more signs out. And I think I went down there last time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Well, they've got a water pipe right in the middle of their camp. That's quite useful. So I think I'm probably coming to the end of my tour because I'm pretty sure I've covered all the nations. Vrushka, Marches, League, Imperial Oaks, Navarre, Wintermark, Dawn, Brass Coast, Urzen, Highguard. Is that all the nations? I think we got 10 of them. I think we covered all the nations. Another bar. What are their prices? You can get cocktails for 1 or 2 crowns. God, inflation. You know, when I started the First Empire well over 10 years ago, you know, it was a couple of rings, but no one really had any idea about how the economy was going to work because it's all a barter system, you know, and players decide the prices themselves, and it's supply and demand. You know, if you put too high a price and no one buys stuff, then obviously you're going to have to lower your price. Morning. Oh look, they got some stuff for sale. Look what they got. They got honey rum. And these little bottles here. Dark chocolate ginger cookies, 5 rings. Yeah, so like when I first started, you could kind of do a couple of rings would get you something decent. Now that noise you might be able to hear is what I would affectionately call the poo truck, and he's busy emptying out the toilets. And obviously we don't really want them doing it during time in because it just wouldn't, you know, it kind of jar us. So instead they do it really early, which means everyone's going to get woken up by the poo truck unless they're really heavy sleepers, unfortunately. Right, we're back to the Senate tent here. Let's just, there is the poo truck, busy emptying it out. Joy. Oh, we didn't go in the academy. We should pop into the academy. Oh no, we can't pop into the academy because the poo truck's opposite. It's just going to be too noisy. So I'm just going to finish this by going back to where I started from, which has taken me an hour to walk most of Anvil in character, and haven't even walked all of Anvil. Oh, hang about. Right, no, it's fine. Just someone waving at me. where were we? Yeah, so that shows you just how big. And this is a compact site. When we move to the new site in 2026, we'll expand. We've got more space to expand, but we don't want to expand too much, because then, like, it's taking me an hour to walk this. It's going to take even longer to walk from one side to the other. But you can, hopefully, this walking tour, going past the forge, has kind of given you a flavour, if you've never done Empire before, about actually what it looks like and what it feels like to actually, I mean, not what it feels like, because there isn't, as I say, there isn't lots of people in costume walking by, but at least what it physically looks like. And you can compare this to the very start of this vlog, when it was an empty field, and how amazing it is that this has all been kind of built up for these few days, and then in a few days' time, at the end of this event, it will all disappear again. Yeah, see, look, the smoky hole are definitely getting ready to serve breakfast soon, aren't they? What time are you serving breakfast from? They're serving it from 8. Let's look, I started this video about 6:15, I think, so it must be about 7:15 now. So smoky hole are lucky, you know, they take out of character money, so they are so like the traders, but because as a caterers they've got an in character looking establishment, you can get away with that, rather like Moorish does. Otherwise you've got all the ones on the outside horseshoe that I've already talked about before. So we're going to finish it. I forgot what I was talking about then. Oh yeah, of course, if you're an existing player, you're probably watching this for nostalgia, since we're never going to be here again. Yes, so let's finish this tour now. It's over an hour. Where we started it, on the boundary between in and out of character, with the games operation desk ahead of me, and the medical centre, and people that are in their out of character tents there, and say, what am I saying? I'm saying thank you, Dadford Road, for many years of us hosting Profound Decisions Empire here, and our little Anvil town. And we look forward to many more years on our new permanent site near north of Cambridge at Steeplechase. Thank you for watching this very long segment walking tour. So it's just gone 10 o'clock, that's technically time in, on Sunday morning, and I'm going to quickly try and do a sneak peek, not in Anvil where they're in character because I'm not allowed to film there, but in the area, out character area, near the crew area, which is where everyone gathers up before the battle. So behind me you can see some of the players who presumably played their characters yesterday on yesterday's battle, and because you have to monster one if you play one, they are now kitting up to be the bad guys for today's battle. So you can see them coming up here, and over here you can see them basically getting kitted up, and then once they've kitted up, they're then joining a particular military unit so they can be briefed. So if we go down to where they are collecting up, what we've got is we've got the briefings for today's battle. So they're all gathering up here, they're seeing what today's battle is, that they're going to be monstering, and deciding what they are going to be playing. So hopefully you can see behind me now, there's the briefing boards. So there's some of the players that are just turning. So they're being recorded as to what nation their character's from, so we can keep an eye that each nation's players are actually doing the one-to-one, they're monstering one
for every time they play one. Now you could monster both. If you don't want your character to have any risk of death, you could actually just monster both battles if you like doing battles, or like several thousand people do in the game, they just don't monster or play, they just don't go on the battlefield at all, which is a lot less chance of their character dying, obviously. So anyway, so I just thought I'd give you a quick glimpse of what it looked like there. So they come here to monster at 10ish, they work out what they're going to do, then they go up there, they get kitted up there, and then they join a unit and then they get properly briefed. And obviously then in about an hour's time, over in Anvil, the actual in-character bit, that will be when all of the characters that are playing today's battle, I don't even know what the battle is today, but whatever military council, whatever the player generals decided on Friday to protect the Empire, they will all gather up and they will go for the Sentinel Gate, which I showed you in an earlier clip, or the stumps of the Sentinel Gate, and then we'll have a big battle, and Anvil will be nice and peaceful with just a couple of thousand people that are role playing that aren't on the battlefield. I hope that makes some sense. Looks like you're having fun. So it's not yet 8 AM on Monday the 15th of September 2025. This is probably my last clip, and probably not only my last clip for this video, but probably my last clip from the Dadford Road site. This is the food hall marquee that you might remember that used to be surrounded by a horseshoe of traders and caterers. Just one caterer still left. Although, if you've watched this video from the beginning, you'll have actually seen it being empty from the beginning, an empty field, and now it's back to almost an empty field. It's the last big tent to go down by the red caps from the crew, and the reason for that being is that's where the crew party was held last night. There's already one litter picker in there, one crew member litter picking from the remains of the crew party last night. And as you see, the games operation desk that used to be there has gone. The first aiders are just packing up now, and I'm going to go back into what was Anvil, that at the start of this video was an empty field, then it became Anvil, with my long Saturday morning walk around, which I suspect you might have fast forwarded through unless you're really keen on having a nostalgic trip through Anvil. You can see that we had heavy rain last night. Most players, I think, managed to get off just before it really got bad, but it did hammer it down for quite a while. And this morning it's very windy. Hopefully you can hear me. So, for the last time, going from what was the outer character section by the games operation desk into what was Anvil. Still not fully back to a field yet. There's some smaller tents that hopefully they'll dry today before they get taken down. So where Urzum was, where Highguard was, up there the Sentinel Gate stumps, down to Varushka, and then up the slope to Marches and League. Yeah, it's end of an era here. About, I don't know actually now, I'm sure someone can correct me, because obviously we were here before the pandemic, so do you count the pandemic years or not when you're trying to work out how many years we were at Dadford Road? So it's about, I don't know, 30 events we held here. I know for a lot of players that did come to Empire, this was the only site that they knew for Profound Decisions, but we've moved before, and of course this time it is the start of a new era. We're moving to our own new permanent live roleplay site, so that is really exciting. I'm now in the middle of what was Highguard. You can really see where the track was going up the middle, right up to the Sentinel Gate stumps over there, and then obviously Brass Coast was over there. I say obviously, Brass Coast was over there. The remains of the forge what's going to happen with our tavern on the new site. Oh, there's the throne. Let's go down to the throne. The Senate, they'll have to have weathered outside all night. The big Senate marquee has already been taken down because the Red Caps took down as many of the marquees as they could do yesterday because they knew it was going to be heavy rain and they knew it was going to be heavy winds. And to be fair, they did an amazing job and they took down a lot of marquees very, very quickly. Marquee storage is really important. I think you notice actually, if you want to know what the winds were like, just look at that tent over there that looks a bit trashed. Yes, there's the chair that the throne sits on in Senate. So one final walk. This one won't be as long as the one in the earlier clip. One final walk to remind us what Dadford Road was like for the last 8-ish years. We'll miss the site, and in particular we'll miss the woods, but we move on to new things and we move on to a permanent site where we can do what we want because it's our site. You know, obviously you've got things like planning permission and stuff like that, yeah, small issues like that, but yeah, we move on to our own site, and hopefully it will be the home not just of Profound Decisions Empire game, but also other live roleplay systems will, over the next few years, start to use the site as well. So it will become, hopefully, a kind of national live roleplay centre. But we've got to start somewhere, and we've got to realise that we're moving to a site that not only has no woods, sadly, although it's flatter. That's a good bonus. And apparently it drains really well. It not only it's not only, I don't know, I'm a bit emotional about it actually, really, when I think about it. You know, it is the end of an era and the start of a new exciting era, and hopefully, whether you're an existing live role player or you're watching this for the first time, in which case of course you could get very confused because this is not the site we are going to be on forevermore. And I hope if you keep an eye where you saw this video, that I will be able to give you a video in the next few months of 2025, a sneak peek of the new site. It won't be very exciting, it will just be flat fields basically. So yes, we've got to realise we're moving to a flat field site. There's not a lot on there at the moment, but we're used to that. You know, we've got our infrastructure and we can build it, and as we build it year on year from now on, it will be there for us live role players. So yes, gosh, the woods, I don't actually know how they managed to fit so many Navarre into these woods, I really don't. Yeah, I wish someone had given me some FAQ questions I could have answered. But problem is, most of the stuff that I would answer, I'd say I'd have to caveat everything with, except this isn't what it's going to be like on the new site, because it's a new site. But it's going to give us a chance to change the layout, try and optimise the layout more for players that have complained over the years about certain aspects of it. But I'm pretty sure that we'll do stuff at the first event and then we'll have to move it around again at the second event and then the third event until we kind of suss out how we want it, and there'll be a steep learning curve on what we want to do in terms of improvements. I mean, for example, moving down here to Wintermark and Dawn, you know, they've always complained about almost being in a separate field from the rest of the event as we got bigger and bigger. So I guess, you know, we'll see if they're more part of the game, or more part of the main field. I guess they're always part of the game. And I guess it would be remiss of me if I didn't kind of say
that there are plans afoot for a steeplechase community of live role players, not just Empire players, but anyone who is interested in our site. And we're going to crowdsource ideas, and we're going to try and crowdsource funding as well. There's, you know, to try and get those exciting things that Profound Decisions themselves won't be able to afford in the first few years. Here we are in Wintermark. What was Wintermark for the very last time. And No Glory Square over in Dawn. We'll go up to Dawn. So yes, so if you think about it, Profound Decisions as a company to run Empire have got to concentrate on the important utilities that we need for a site. So things like power, water, a decent roadway system that we can get on and off the site for. Excitingly, between you and me, right, the new site has multiple entrances. I think there's 2, but it means we can have a proper on-off system. Anyway, so yes, but those are the things that Profound Decisions has got to concentrate on. I hope you can hear me. It is very windy. They're the things that Profound Decisions have got to concentrate on first, which means that there is an opening for what is going to be called something like, and don't quote me on this, but something like the Friends of Steeplechase LARP site, centre, something like that. And we can crowdsource ideas for exciting things that we want to be able to fund faster than Profound Decisions is going to get them, because they're not as high up priority list for Profound Decisions. So things like trees and a memorial garden and benches and lighting, street lighting. I used to love the street lighting we had years ago at Empire. All of these things. So we're going to need the community to crowdsource, come up with ideas, and then the Friends group will hopefully kind of channel those ideas, solidify those ideas down, and discuss them with Profound Decisions, and hopefully we'll get them in action, because Profound Decisions wants to do those things, and not just for Empire, but also to make these things usable for other systems to come along as well. So again, watch this space, because that's going to be exciting developments as well. I'm coming back the way, no, I didn't come down through here, I'm coming back here. I'm going to finish this video because I am just warbling, and it's very muddy and windy. So yes, goodbye Dadford Road, so long, thanks for everything you've given us, and hopefully I'll see you all on our new permanent site. This is Paul signing off.